Hello and welcome to day 11. Just opening up the door. Ooh, feels warm out on the balcony. It's Vlogmas day 11. It's in the 60s outside. It is about 66, so it's probably gonna get a little warm. I actually might close the balcony just for now. The balcony gets lots of sun during the day, and it just kind of cooks itself all day long. So I'll open that once the sun has gone down a little bit. I've been laying in bed, relaxing. Let's grab box 11. And I need my tripod. So we're gonna do something a little bit different today. Let's open this up and see what we got. We have, ooh, it's a box in a box. Jurlique, ooh, rose hand cream. That sounds really good. I always love a good hand cream, and rose is one of my favorite scents. Pretty, that's nice. I can't open this one-handed. I will put this on my little coffee table, and we will try that out later. But for now, we're gonna take the tripod. Where'd I put my phone down? Take my tripod, take my phone, and we're gonna go into the kitchen. Okay, I want to bake some cookies, so I thought we could do a kind of bake with me for today's Vlogmas, because to be perfectly honest, I'm not sure how much else there's gonna be to vlog today, because I'm feeling a tiny bit better, I think, but I'm still not great. And because I was so unproductive yesterday, today I really need to be doing more copy editing. So I think once I'm done with the cookies, I'm really just going to kind of sit and watch Netflix while I copy edit. But it is December 11th. I haven't baked a single batch of Christmas cookies yet, and that just doesn't feel right to me. I wanted to make my favorite recipe, which I've got on the inside, on the cover of my little cook recipe binder thing. So the recipe, they're just called Norwegian cookies. If I have any Norwegian followers, feel free to tell me if this recipe bears any resemblance at all to an actual Norwegian Christmas cookie. My mom found this recipe in a military wives cookbook. The winner who developed the recipe said that it was based on an old world family recipe, and she'd updated it for American taste. I'm reading the little bit. My mom had emailed this recipe to me ages ago. So my dad, his heritage is Norwegian, so I'm part Norwegian. We've got the Seversons, and there's also the Jacobsons, so down 2 branches of the family. We're Norwegian. My dad is like 3/4 in Norwegian, so I'm almost half, not quite. So when my mom found this recipe called Norwegian cookies, she thought she'd start including that so into our family Christmas recipes. So I've grown up eating these cookies. They are my favorite cookie. Anytime I have to make a batch of Christmas cookies to bring somewhere, this is the batch I make because I've never seen anyone else make these. So it's great because I know that, like, when you go somewhere like a party or something and everyone's been asked to bring some Christmas cookies, you know there's going to be sugar cookies, you know there's going to be probably those candy cane twist cookies. Like, there's just certain cookies that everybody makes at Christmas time. Outside of my family, I've never seen anyone make the Norwegian cookies, so that's what I'm going to make. I need sugar, flour. I'm going to get all my recipes together, all my ingredients together. I'm not a good cook, but I do love to bake, and I feel like I'm a pretty decent baker. I'm not bake-off level good, You'd never get me on a show like that. I would fail all the preliminaries, but I do like baking. So, I've got sugar, eggs, butter, flour, chocolate chips, baking powder. It's this one. And then we'll need a little bit of cinnamon sugar. Do I have? I thought I had a thing of cinnamon sugar, but I probably don't. Oh, I do. Oh, and vanilla. We need vanilla. Vanilla extract. Sugar, flour, eggs, butter, baking powder, vanilla, butter. Did I say butter? Chocolate chips. I will try to like write an actual recipe in the comments below. Okay, so bowl. Then I'm going to need my mixer. If you have a standing mixer, I'm jealous, you will want to use that. I don't have a standing mixer. I just have a hand beater mixer. So I will mix as much as I can with that, and then I will do the rest by hand. That's everything I need. First thing, you need one cup and 2 tablespoons of butter. So that's how I'm going to have just enough. I use unsalted. Salted is fine. So 1 cup is 2 sticks, and then the 2 tablespoons is part of a third. And we want to soften that. Oh, and also start preheating the oven to 350. And then I'm just going to pop that in the microwave. 15 seconds. We don't want to melt it. We just want to soften it so that it will blend easily. Let's do another 10 seconds. You wouldn't want to do 30 seconds all in a row because that will melt it. I'm kind of looking at the little one sitting on top. When that one starts to melt, I know that it's soft enough. So it's starting to get a little melty and cavey in the middle, but it's still got some solid butter, so the butter's not like hot or anything. Okay, so we're going to beat the sugar, eggs, butter, and vanilla together. Let me tilt the camera down. Okay, so we need 2 eggs, and I like doing the eggs first because if there's any shells that get into the bowl, it's easier to fish the shells out before you put in the butter and everything. So 1 egg, 2 eggs, and no shells. Good job. Put in the butter. You probably could adapt this to be vegan if you are so inclined. I just can't guarantee how it would perform if you're using like butter and egg substitutes. So it might take some playing around with it to get that to work. So there's the butter and the eggs. I'm going to have dishes to do later. Then we need the sugar. So we need 1 1/3 cup. So rather than having to wash off, so I just use the 1/3 cup and do that 4 times. So 1/3, 2/3, 1 cup, and 1/3 cup. So there's our 1 1/3 cups of sugar. Okay, and then we want the vanilla, which I'm realizing my mom's recipe doesn't specifically say how much vanilla. I'm going to do a teaspoon. So now we're going to plug in the mixer and we're going to beat together these ingredients. So we're just creaming those together until it's all nice and blended. Then I like to put in the baking powder, and I do that on its own before I put in the flour. Just going to make sure that that's level. So there's our 1 teaspoon baking powder. Okay, so then I like to beat the baking powder in just so that I know that it's well mixed. So that's all nice and creamy. Then the flour. Again, you could do this with like gluten-free flour, but you'll just have to kind of test out the different kind of amounts, because certain gluten-free flours, like almond flour, has more moisture in it. Coconut flour is good. I know my mom has done these gluten-free. You just have to play around with everything. So we're doing 3 cups of flour total. I'm doing 1 cup at a time and mixing it in to make sure that the flour gets well mixed. Okay, so there's the first cup of flour mixed in. Now we'll do the second cup. With this mixer, it can handle 2 cups of flour. If I had a nice KitchenAid standing mixer, I could do the whole thing. So we'll beat this one in. Okay, so I've just tried to let as much of the dough, cookie dough, fling off the batter as much as possible. Take these off. Try to scrape that off so I don't lose too much of my cookie dough. Okay, now we have the last cup of flour. Which I will mix in by hand because I don't want to burn out the butter of my beaters. Actually, we don't want to put the flour away just yet. I'm going to put a tiny bit of flour in my measuring cup and then put the flour away. And I do the whole cleanup as I go method because we're going to need counter space in a second. So it's just easier to do that as I go along. Okay, so now we're going to mix in this last cup. I think I'm actually going to swap this out for a sturdier spoon. So I use the beater to help me get it as mixed as possible. Otherwise, mixing in 3 cups of flour by hand just takes forever. And if you are doing it all by hand, then I definitely recommend mixing it in 1 cup at a time or even a half a cup at a time. It'll just help you, as you can see there's some bits where it's just a lot of flour. It just helps you avoid that and just helps you kind of get everything well mixed and combined into a nice solid cookie dough. Okay, so now I'm going to take my mat. You can use your countertop. I don't like my countertops. They're really dark, and so even when I've cleaned them, it's still really hard to see. So I'm going to now dump this out. And you can see it's not mixed perfectly. If you're using a proper mixer, you won't have this problem. So this is where we begin the last stages of mixing. I just kind of scoop everything together, and I just am going to kind of mash everything together by hand until there's no more crumbly bits. Okay, so now I'm also going to mix in our chocolate chips. You could do this while it's all still in a bowl. I just forgot. So the recipe says 6 ounces. I just kind of eyeball it. This bag is 12 ounces, so it's roughly half the bag, and this bag was already open. I kind of feel like now we're just going to mix them all in. Okay, so we now have pretty good ball of dough. Cookies or chocolate chips are pretty evenly mixed in. And now we need to split this into 4 equal-sized balls. So I just kind of split it in half and then split each of those in half. And then I'm just going to kind of set these in their individual balls back into the dough. And now I'm just going to flour my space a tiny bit. And you're just going to roll. I need to get my pan. So I have 2 baking sheets. So I'm going to put 2 of these ropes on each sheet, and I'll show you that in a second because it's out of frame. Okay, so now we come over here. Now we've got our 2 ropes on each sheet. You need a fork, and you need a blend of cinnamon sugar. So then you're just going to, with the fork, press it down at a diagonal. And then once you've done that, you take your cinnamon sugar. So this is just a little bit of sugar, a little bit of cinnamon, slightly more sugar to the cinnamon, but it depends on how much you like cinnamon. If you like cinnamon, then you can do almost an equal blend. And then out the shaker side, you're just going to cover each rope with a bit of cinnamon sugar. Okay, and then into the oven these go. And then we set the timer. It's 10 to 13 minutes, so I always do 10, and then I check them, see if they need more or less. And obviously everyone's oven is different. I'm gonna go sit and relax, get these baked, and I'll come back and show you the finished product. Okay, so the timer's gone off. Let's open this up. You kind of want to wait until you see just a little bit of like golden brown starting to peek up from the underside. So we'll do another 3 minutes. Okay, so these ones look done. I don't know if my camera will pick it up, but I think you can see an ever so slight beginning to kind of go that golden brown just along the underside. So these ones are done. I'm doing the other ones for another 2 minutes. So I'm going to start making a cup of coffee, and then I will check the other ones. Okay, so oven off. These are both done. I would rather they be slightly underbaked than overbaked. I'd rather them be a little bit soft than too hard. I usually let them cool on the pan because you have to cut them in order to transfer them off of the pan. So I don't cool these on a cooling rack the way I would like individual sugar cookies, but I do want to show you how I cut these, and I also want to take these over to the sofa with my coffee and eat them. So you just kind of cut them diagonally. This is the pan that's been out for longer, so it's a little bit, this one is kind of more ready to be cut. And you just cut them in diagonals. You can cut them a little bit wider, you can cut them a little bit skinnier. I wouldn't go half the size of that piece. I also wouldn't go like, you know, that wide. But the width is kind of up to you. This is kind of the width that we've always cut them. So yeah, those are my family's Norwegian Christmas cookies. Again, have no idea what Norwegian cookie, traditional cookie, they would resemble. If anyone has any ideas, let me know. I'm going to take a couple delicious cookies over to the sofa with my coffee and get back to watching Kitten Rescuers, because I am now obsessed with that show. There's only 8 episodes. I watched 2 last night, so I'm on the 3rd one today. It's just so adorable, and the stories are so amazing. So I'm going to watch that, also do a bit of copy editing, bit of relaxing, and just try to get through another day with this stupid cold. I'm feeling slightly better, but then every time I get up and do something, then I feel really exhausted again. So I'm going to go rest now.